My name is Wesley Fishlock. I started something a few years ago. I'm originally from the East Coast, and it's taken me this long to find out this place called San Diego. I have no idea why no one told me about this before. I would have moved here years and years ago if I knew it was going to be 79 in January. Originally, we had a development company on the East Coast, and we got involved with this little project called StockTwits, which has now become venture funded and is in San Diego. It's a great startup in San Diego. My boyfriend's a CTO, and our lead developer, Dustin, is here as well. I started Geek Girl out of a necessity of my mom calling me from Florida asking me, I just want to learn how to put names for my swim team on this thing they call a spreadsheet. So I was finding out that a lot of women were passed by, technology passed them by. There were a lot of young girls who, if you don't get them around 10 or 11 into technology, they're going to go into different things because they start, getting a car and boyfriends and stuff like that. But we found that there was so many people, we take things for granted. I'm sure a lot of these ladies and the people here, we take a lot of things in technology for granted, and we're the top 10% crust. There's plenty of people there, and especially in this economy, a lot of people losing their jobs who don't have some really good skills, even know how to do a spreadsheet sometimes. So started Geek Girl, we do boot camps, we do Geek Girl for Hire, we do help desk, we do really cool stuff. We try to help as many people as possible. And we get the real techie people to donate their time or paid, get paid also to be instructors and help out at boot camps. We're gonna do a boot camp in San Diego. We started on the East Coast. Our mission basically is to educate and empower every girl, woman, and guy. We are a for-profit, even though we're a great social cause because we donate a lot of money to scholarships, and we work with local career opportunities, unemployment places to get the people who need to be there, whether they're girl or guy. But we do it really with a lot of fun. We provide a legacy by giving back and paying it forward. We do all these things. Our demographics are 10 years old to 88. And dudes are always welcome. Little bit of, there we go. If you ever want to follow us, Facebook, Twitter, website, email me. There we go. Keep commenting. Thank you to, Winston's not on there because nobody told me Winston was here. And I want to thank my boyfriend, Chris, because if it wasn't for him, Geek Girl would have never started. He was the one behind pushing me to do it, so. And these are the ladies of the night. Oh my God, that's awful! The ladies of the night. I meant these are the ladies of the evening. That's even worse. These are the ones who will be here. They're going to introduce themselves because they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and their companies. Yes, we have Princess Leia also joining us this evening. And they represent these great companies around San Diego. So I just want to give you a little bit of that. What I'd like to do is have them, I want to do this kind of as a James Lipton sort of thing, actors studio, and just sit back and, so we're going to ask some questions, but it doesn't mean you can't pop your hand up and ask them a question or something like that. I just sent them a few. We also have a woman named Barbara Bree here tonight who is with Blackburn Ventures, early stage investor. She also writes for the Union Tribune, and she's here tonight. So if she hasn't approached you, she may. Barbara, why don't you raise your hand so everybody knows who you are?
So I'm writing, we won't run for a few weeks because I'm backlogged on columns, but I plan to write a column about Geek Girl tonight.
Awesome. All right, well, starting off, let's do an introduction. Name, company, position at company, how many years there, and what you do on a daily basis. You can throw in if you're married, have kids, stuff like that. So, Adrianna?
All right, hi everyone. First, before I introduce myself, I just want to thank Wesley for putting this together and bringing all of these amazing people in the tech community together because it's been so long needed in our city. So just thank you so much, Wesley. It's great. So my name is Adrianna Herrara. I'm the founder and CEO of Fashioning Change. Fashioning Change is a recommendation engine that helps online shoppers find the eco-friendly and ethical alternative of their favorite name brands. You tell us what brand you like, and we give you the alternative based on style and price point. For those of you who are engineers, we're a cloud-based web crawler built on machine learning algorithms. Our backend powers a Rails-based marketplace and browser extension for web-wide recommendations. I'm a non-technical founder. I started the company 2 years ago. I went through the Founders Institute, actually taught myself to code and built a browser extension. I met my amazing co-founder, Kevin Ball, some of you guys might know him. And that was about a year and a half ago when he came on board, and we just launched over the holiday shopping season on Cyber Monday on TechCrunch, and are just moving forward this year. So really excited to be here and be a part of the conversation.
Excellent.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Melani Gordon, the CEO and co-founder of Tap Hunter. We are a craft beer and micro beer finder to our free iPhone and Android app. So we help market craft beer bars and breweries across the states. We launched in April of '09 and haven't looked back since. My co-founder is my amazing, adorable husband, Jeff Gordon, who everyone calls Flash. We live downtown. We have a pug. We have no children. Entrepreneurship is our life. And what else can I say? Adrianna and I are moving into an incubator on Monday, and we're kind of the two girls in the space. So you'll probably notice we have a little bit of bonding already going on. So,
Which incubator?
Evo Nexus. They'll be downtown. So, thanks.
Congrats.
Thank you for having me. My name is Stephanie Mansolino. I'm the marketing director at Sweet Labs. We're downtown in the Gaslamp district, and we create products that help developers, that empower developers. And I've been working for Sweet Labs for a little over a year. As a marketing director, I work on Open Candy, which is one of our products, and I dabble into some Poke marketing, which is another product of ours, as well as the company marketing. I work in Marcom and events for the company. And I have an awesome son, Colin. That was my picture. We won our Halloween costume contest at Sweet Labs. I was Princess Leia and my son was Yoda. It was a slam dunk. It was terrific. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexis, and I'm the Director of Artist Services for a company called Bandsintown. And I'm also very excited to be here tonight. And it's been great to meet so many of you so far. I kind of wish some of you were up here so I could learn even more. It's been really impressive so far. So we make tools that help artists manage and promote their tour dates across multiple pages and profiles online. We have about 50,000 artists that use us to date, everyone from Shakira, Lil Wayne, and Dave Matthews Band to local bands like Republic of Letters and Little Hurricane and others. So it's great in terms of being involved with helping a lot of artists make money and be successful through how the music industry still survives, which is concerts. We also have a consumer-facing side, which is tools for people to track and receive updates on their favorite bands that are coming to town. We have an awesome newly released iPhone app. It scans your iTunes, your Last.fm, your Pandora, and tells you when all of your favorite bands are coming to town. And then also for developers, I should mention that we have an API. We launched it in 2009 or so, and so we have about 100 developers or so that build really interesting things using concert data as well. And we have partners like eMusic and Shazam. When you tag a song on Shazam and look for tour dates, that's our company. So it's an interesting company in terms of being consumer-facing, B2B with the artists, and developer-facing. And in terms of my role right now, it is very much involved with our artist services side, but being from a startup, I joined them in 2009. We recently got acquired in September of last year, but prior to that, I was really wearing every single hat. So I was the developer relations person, like helping people. I didn't even know what API meant when I started, but I figured that out, helping with finance, helping with everything. And then finally, I kind of have something that's of my own now, which is very much, business development and account management. But I've worn all the hats.
Excellent. Do you consider yourselves geeky?
Nerdy.
Dorky, nerdy. All right, we're all set. What brought you to your present company or startup? You know, what is the story behind that, and whether you are working there or, you know, started it yourself? What was that? Because I believe that most apps are based on need. Like, you have a need for it, like YouTube, file sharing, you know, Twitter to talk. I still don't know how Twitter started. No, just kidding. But Facebook, how to, you know, get the kids in college together and so on. What was that first thing that, you know, with fashion change, like, what was that thing?
Well, I grew up a conscious consumer. It was really actually my dad. My dad grew up in Juárez, Mexico, and was very influenced by the maquiladoras and the what it meant to buy from one factory of the other factory, and what it meant for the people. So I grew up with weird rules to go shopping. I wasn't allowed to buy things in Asia, made in Asia. I wasn't allowed to buy things made of synthetic materials, and I wasn't allowed to buy things that were dark colors because my dad feels like children are the light of the world, so they shouldn't wear dark colors. So that's how I grew up. So I had fights with my parents every time I went shopping on what I wanted to buy, and so that's my lens on the world. And just every time we buy something, there's a connection that we make with where it came from, the environment, the people, and what it means as consumers and what we're facilitating. So I wasn't able to find the things that I wanted to buy, so I said, well, how can I make it accessible and connect brands that I love with the consumers that would love to buy from them, and that's how Fashion Change came about. Awesome.
Melanie, how did the idea from beer, obviously, love of beer.
I went to San Diego State. No, I'm just kidding. I was sharing with an awesome woman who's here tonight, Tanya. You meet her if you do. And basically, Tap Hunter is one of 5 different things we've built. So the other things that we tried building were internet marketing reporting software for the B2B space. Things that just weren't very riveting, get out of bed in the morning type projects. Tap Hunter is 100% the idea of my husband. And so I got on the computer and started doing a little research on the industry and said, holy smokes, there's something interesting going on. So we're in what some consider a craft beer renaissance in the United States. There's 1,900 craft and microbreweries today, which is more than before Prohibition. And we didn't look back. So that he kind of developed it from wanting to find good beer, and we developed it from there.
Steph, what was the idea behind Sweet Labs, and, you know, what was the need that the guys found right there? Was it developer market?
Yeah, well, the company was founded as Open Candy, which is now, you know, one of our 2 products, and it was to empower developers, to help the small guys. So developers that are creating software at home, they have, you know, 9-to-5 jobs, but they're really passionate about creating their own software, and they wanted to help these developers make money. And so they started the Open Candy Software Network, and we've been, you know, basically partnering with advertisers so that when you download that developer software, then a recommendation screen pops up saying, hey, you know, as a developer, I recommend that you try this product, whether it be Google Chrome as your browser or another product that's related to theirs. You know, that meshes with that. And then if you click yes, that you want that second offer, then they get paid on it. So we're helping them, the developers, make money. And so that's how the company was founded.
Alexis, what was the basic need right there?
Well, the 2 founders are not a founder. It was founded in 2007 in Boston, and the 2 founders kept missing concerts. It was really how it started. They got sick of it. And then, as one of them was a designer, one of them was an engineer, and as they started trying to put together the API in order to create this concert recommendation and notification, it's pretty cool because it has a cloud that, like, the bands you like are really big, and the bands you may not know about are smaller, but you can kind of see everyone's coming. As they started putting this together, they got a lot more interested in the API aspect of it and just the challenge of the data aggregation and how do you clean up. There's hundreds of ticket companies, so how do you clean up all this data? And they ended up focusing a lot more on that. How I came into the company is kind of interesting, though. I was studying finance, and I was also a professional dancer and a couple other things, and just so busy. So I started using technology to get my life together, and while I was getting my MBA in studying finance, I became interested, obviously, in venture capital because I was interested in how all these companies that actually enabled me to do what I wanted to do in life were funded. And so I ended up working for an incubator program in Washington, D.C. called Launchbox Digital as an associate with them after I finished my MBA program. And the first thing that was said to me was, don't fall in love with any of the companies. And what's the first thing I do but fall in love with one of the portfolio companies, which happened to be Bandsintown. And 3 years later, after a major pivot, after our acquisition, after months of not getting paid, all kinds of things, here I am, and I love it. So that's kind of how my winding path here.
Fantastic. Stephanie, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? And what you graduated in college, does it have anything to do with what you're doing now?
It does. When I grew up, I really wanted to be in business. I would pretend that I would have a store at home. I would write receipts. I'd have an inventory of books, an inventory of school supplies that I would sell friends and sell it to my parents. So I was really focused on business. And then I went to the University of San Diego. Business was my major. I did want to try something different, and it didn't work out because it was marine biology, and I ended up getting really sick on the boat. So that didn't happen. So I went back to what I really wanted to do growing up, and that was business. And so I did graduate with a business degree, and then did several internships and navigated my way around advertising, and then into marketing, and then startups, and then now I'm here as a marketer for a startup company in the tech world.
Anyone else have like a weird thing, like you went into veterinary school and now you're doing this? No?
Well, I went to San Diego State, got a marketing degree, but before I came to San Diego, I was training to be a pro snowboarder and had a couple bad accidents. I raced motorcycles when I was little, so I'm kind of an action sport girl, and thought that I would get paid to do sports for the rest of my life. And for those sports fans in the room, you've all been there, and here I am today, so I decided I should probably finish college.
That's funny. Mac or PC? Adrianna?
Mac.
Both. Yeah, we've got PCs at work and Mac for my home.
Newly on Mac.
All right. How many women are at your company? Well, we know Melanie's 50-50. Adrianna's 50-50, right?
No, we actually have another person.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. So we have a team member that's in New York, and she's a woman. So she works with a lot of our brands, just being that New York's the capital of fashion and in the U.S. So, and, yeah.
We're 3 people as of yesterday at 4 o'clock.
And
her name's Katie, and she's sitting in the front row tonight.
So far we have 4 girls, 2 boys. Sweet Labs?
So about 20% is female, which I'm really excited about because when I started a year ago, we weren't at that point. And the women that work at our company play different roles. So we've got marketing. Basically, the entire marketing department is women, except for our boss, Tom. It's like Charlie's Angels. And then we've got Bosley. And then we've got a couple of women in our accounting department, legal, and then we've got one awesome developer, Fontaine, and her roommate is here.
Fontaine's here? Raise your hand.
No, Fontaine is not here, but her housemate is. And
raise your hand still.
It's just so awesome to have a woman developer. And I'm always talking to her and picking her brain, and it's great. So we also have a web designer as well, who's female. So
Excellent.
We're growing. We're making a mark.
What's a good start, Alexis?
So we were all boys for the longest time, but there's only 4 of us, so that was how it was. And then we recently started growing a lot, and our first hire out of the box was a female director of data engineering. So now there's 2 of us, but she's like badass. So,
which has had the more effect on your business, Facebook or Twitter, Alexis?
Facebook. We are fun. We have we're the top 5 music app on Facebook. We integrate Facebook events with everything we do. more than 300 MAUs on 3 million MAUs on Facebook.
Wow.
Facebook is a big deal for us.
Wow. Steph?
Twitter has been really good for us with the developers, talking to new developers through Twitter.
Melanie?
Twitter, it's our #1 traffic generator.
Adrianna?
Twitter.
Twitter. Good to know.
I should note that I did not like Facebook till I started having a business built on it.
You know, the funny thing is about all of the social media is this. Personally, you like one of them, but your audience might like another one. And you have to learn how to love that technology if your audience is there. That's what I've learned. And yeah, Facebook, both of them, really big for us, but I had to learn to love Facebook, and I do like it. I think it's fun. Do you think the media accurately portrays women in tech, especially in Silicon Valley? I believe there's a dearth of women in tech companies. They're saying 12 to 14% engineers and so on. But why do you guys think there's such a shortage in those areas, like engineering and IT and some of the more hardcore ones? Melanie, what do you think?
Well, I kind of the philosophy of Mark Suster, so he wrote an amazing blog post a few months back called "Why Are There Not More Female Entrepreneurs?" I probably read it once a month because I want to see what new comments came onto the post. And it's, it's the complete obvious that most women have children, and they're kind of the ones to take care of them. But that's changing because it's never been easier to start a startup just through cost and the cloud and all of that. And so I think we're starting to see female entrepreneurs who are 19, 20, 21 that we're reading about in Silicon Valley that are getting to $5 million in funding, which is huge. So, I think that's the key reason, but it's changing drastically.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyone else have an opinion on that?
I actually think it starts at a younger age. I feel like when I was growing up, there was no women in tech. Technology I didn't even know about. We had our Apple IIe computer at home, but I didn't know anybody in my family that was in the tech industry. The teachers didn't talk about it. So I feel like role models and mentoring people, that are from the technology industry and mentoring younger girls from middle school to high school so that they know what technology is all about is where it all starts. I think now it's a different story because we've got so much social media and everything, and you have laptops at age 5. My son's playing with the iPad at 10
When we were
months.
driving here, it was so interesting. Alexis and I were driving here today, and we work together at the same co-working space so we've had tons of time to hang out. And I asked her what her mom did in the car today, and I didn't know before that. And it was really similar to my mom, and we both have mom roles that are my mom's, she's my icon. Mm-hmm. And they're both in business. So, I just learned that about her on the way here today.
So do you think, could the mentoring be really with your mom as your best mentor in a way? I think so. Finish the sentence. Women are really good at Adrianna.
Solutions.
Alexis.
Connecting.
Steph.
Multitasking.
Melanie.
Bridge makers.
I like those answers. Those were really good. Best app, Pinterest, Path, or Instagram?
What was the third one?
Which one?
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
I would like to know more about Pinterest. My friends are, but
Here, I'll get you on
right
there.
now.
No, because she won't look at anything else if she does.
Right now it's Instagram, but with Pokey Instagram.
Hey, there you go. That's a good plug.
We're hearing so much buzz about Pinterest, but I like Instagram. What can I say? I'd love to get a. Can we take a poll though? Can we take a straw poll?
Sure. Who's using it? Who's using Instagram? Who's using Pinterest? All the chicks, of course. Path? Anybody using Path yet? I think Path is pretty awesome. Did a great interface with that. Adrianna, you are stuck on a desert island or a deserted island. You have only one gadget to choose from. Granted, there is Wi-Fi. What would it be?
Can I make something up?
Yes.
Sure.
So it would be a solar map. Because from there I can do anything. Like you can have your Mac and basically work from the beach, or I mean Skype's amazing, so I can be connected to everyone. I mean everything's there, so it'd just be like a solar map. It'd be good.
Stephanie, if the last thing you want to have taken away from you, what is it?
You know, I love my MacBook because I can do everything and I don't have to squint. So, you know, I've got the nice screen, whereas with my phone, it's tough to read. So I would go with the
Your MacBook.
my MacBook with the camera.
Alexis.
I'm kind of loving the 4S with Siri because she'll like talk back to you and whatnot. So
You won't be alone on this.
Maybe she can help me find, you know, some directions out. I don't know. Yeah.
Excellent. Melanie.
Well, I mean, I just think immediately of beer. So.
That's usual.
Beer is food, and I would have to say, like, if I was on a desert island, who cares about being connected to the world? So, like, maybe my home brew kit or something.
And some sunscreen.
Yeah.
With the desalinization plant and everything else. This is a little serious one. Without naming names or companies, have you ever felt like you were treated differently based on your sex in your tech career? And this could concern receiving investment money, or if you've tried to receive investment money. Have you ever felt like your sex had anything to do with it? I hate to use the word discrimination, but I'm just trying to. We hear about it so much. I mean, every article on TechCrunch is that you're going to hear one side of the story about why someone didn't get funding and why someone didn't fund her. And I just want to know from you guys, have you ever had that ever happen? And like I said, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to name names or companies or anything like that, but you know, just how you felt.
Well, I think with any male-dominated industry, you're going to have that happen, and it happens. But the way that I've responded to it is just to let my company, my product, and my team stand for what we do and hold ourselves to the highest level of integrity, and just move forward. Don't let it affect anything that we're doing.
Good answer. Melanie, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten really lucky in the startup world, but before that, I kind of attribute to me being where I am today because of the unfavoritism that I received in a previous corporation. It was the boys club, and I was on the boys club team, and it wasn't working, and I thought to myself, if this is how business is, I don't want to be in business. And I remember coming home that day and telling my husband that I wanted to be a yoga instructor or to go to massage therapy school, and he said, hell no. So I left that company and started my own consulting firm, and that's how Tap Hunter kind of incubated out of that. So I knew that there was a better way to do it, and that was 6 years ago that I've kind of trailblazed out on my own. And in the startup tech world, I'm the one that's in charge of fundraising, and it's male dominated, and you just can't think about it. And I was giving Alexis some insight on the way here, and I haven't let it stop me that I'm a female, and haven't, knock on wood, received any awful experiences from that yet. It's kind of been very welcoming and that sort of thing.
That's great. I know you're not one of the original founders, Stephanie, but have you felt at your company there was ever that sort of,
Well,
you can even see if you felt isolated before.
Not so much at this company, but it is, male-dominated industry, all the events that we go to,
it's a sausage fest.
It is. And the company that I worked with before, it was collectibles. It had nothing to do with technology, but it was sports collectibles, entertainment collectibles, and it was the same situation with just a ton of guys. So you hear things, you hear stupid comments that they make, but you just know that you're smarter and that you're there for a reason and you're there to do a great job, and you just keep going and you don't let those comments get to you ever, because you're better than that.
Alexis, how about your industry?
Music or technology? They're both male dominated, but it was interesting. I was not involved in our fundraising, so I can't speak firsthand to that. Well, at least not VC facing, but again, I did work for a group of investors, and so I was around a lot of investors. And one of the things I would say is that, first of all, the ones that I worked for were extremely respectful. They let me in on every single meeting, mentoring meeting, discussions around financing, everything, you know, so I could really get a first-hand understanding of the intuition that goes into doing what they do, which was wonderful. But I will say that one of the things I observed is that there's a lot of bonding that goes on at a lot of odd hours. And, you know, you go to conferences and you meet people and folks are kind of hanging out at the bar, or, you know, they step off and go to a different party or something. And sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant to participate in those things because I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. And in times that I do participate, I'm afraid that there is a little bit, and, you know, I'm speaking frankly to you guys, that there is a little bit of an assumption as to, I don't know, the interactions change. And I just feel that if I was someone that was trying to raise money or trying to be seen as a professional and a peer in the eyes of some of the other folks, I think that they may not see me in the same way, and or I don't have the bonds that all the other guys that hung out until like 4 in the morning have. And that's really an inside track and an advantage. I'm not saying it's insurmountable at all, but it's just something that as a female I'm aware of.
Excellent. We talked a little bit about this, but do you think women can have it all, be the CEO of a company and be the CEO of running your family? What do you think, Stephanie?
I definitely think so. You know, I'm working full time and I have a 10-month-old, and I'm not any less of a mom for working. Like, I still make time for him, make time for my husband and my friends. Like, as women, like, we could do so many things. Like, that's why I said multitasking, because you can work, you can manage people, you can manage your household, you can, you know, build friendships. Like, that takes a lot of energy and work to foster those friendships and keep friendships. Your family, like, we do so many things, and I just feel like it's your attitude and your energy level, and if you could keep it up, then, you know, you can do anything.
Adrianna, what do you think?
Absolutely. I think there's now more and more women are looking to start their own companies. They can be CEOs. Being a CEO of my household, I think I'm single, but in marriage and partnership.
Did you hear that, guys? Who's Alexis? You single? Alexis and Adrianna are single, guys.
But I think in the household, it's more of a partnership. So I think that's a little bit different. Because when you're a CEO of a company, every decision that you make, good, bad, it falls on you. And at the end of the day, it's your decision, and everything rides on you. At home, I'd rather it be a partnership. So.
Sure. Melanie, what do you think? CEO home and CEO?
Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit different of a perspective because we're a husband-wife team, which I 110% fully support, and we had a lot of people who said we wouldn't be able to do it. We've been together for 11 years and married for 6. I wouldn't have it any other way. So for any of you who are thinking about it, I would love to talk and meet with you about it because it's just been phenomenal. You have to kind of have, you know, opposite skill sets and things of that nature. But, I mean, it's not a secret amongst our friends, and so we made the decision to not have children. And we're okay with that. And lots of our friends, you know, have kids and the families are, and we're just going to be the coolest aunt and uncles that we can be.
And you can borrow them and you can give them back if you want to.
Yeah. And I see a few of them out in here today. We've made the most amazing friends who have also chosen that same path, and it's just been amazing. So,
Alexis, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely possible to do both, but I will say that I think it also just depends on the stage of your company, and knowing that on some cases, being with a very early stage company can be extremely intense and extremely time consuming. And I would almost say that, at least in my experience, it would have been downright selfish of me to put anybody else through that. So if I had been in a serious relationship, or if I had kids, I don't know if I would have taken this particular path, because it really puts a lot on the line, both in terms of your time, financially, all kinds of ways. So I think it's totally possible, but I do think, especially at an early stage, with the stability being what it is something that you have to be cognizant of.
That's a great answer. Okay, quick question. I'm going to start with Stephanie, because I know which one she's going to say, but Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Melanie?
I don't really. I don't know either way.
That's okay. Adrianna.
I grew up watching Star Wars with my brothers, so Star Wars.
Alexis.
Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was my first